Hey guys, this is Alex. This is going to be just a quick kind of first impressions and review of the new YoYoRecreation Anomaly. So this is one of the newer releases by YoYoRecreation. Has not been out for that long, and I snagged one a couple of weeks ago. I'll flash the specs on the screen. There's no need to go into them in detail. You can find them anywhere this thing is sold. But let's jump right into it. Let's start with basically the way the yo-yo looks. So I snagged this gray color. Which I think there's only 3 colorways right now out, and this is one of them, and I'm really happy with it. Unfortunately, I don't think that the pictures released by YoYoRecreation, or that this video in particular, can really do justice to this the color on this yo-yo, because it really is beautiful. I'm really happy with it, and I'll put a picture up that I took, maybe does a little bit more justice. But the gray itself is a beautiful color. It's like a sort of a in between a gunmetal gray and like a platinum silver, and you can just see the quality of the anodizing or whatever it is. It just looks smooth and it looks really well done. The weight rings on the outside, I don't know how YoYoRecreation polishes these things, but because this thing shines like a diamond and it looks so brilliant when you're playing it, and it contrasts so well with the gray. It just looks awesome. The only like real markings on it is just like the little logo that you can see kind of engraved right there. It's really sort of a minimalist, kind of a classy look to it, which to me is awesome. That's kind of like my preferred taste. I generally like solid colored throws as opposed to splashes, and just this color, the shine on the rings and everything just look absolutely fantastic. And next, let's jump into the shape of the yo-yo and the weight of the yo-yo, which are 2 reasons that I really jumped on this. First, the shape. It's kind of this classic kind of sort of organic shape, which, you know, is not particularly new or unique. What you can't really see, I don't think, even in the pictures, is that this is not completely curved here. There's actually really small, almost imperceptible steps in it, which I don't know how that will affect its play, but I think it speaks, if nothing else, to the precision of the machining. But anyways, it feels great in your hand, which is something I'm always, like, to me is a key thing in the shape of a yo-yo, is I like it to feel comfortable, because to me, if it's going to be slamming into my palm 10,000 times, like, I'd like it to not hurt, you know. So this is a shape and size that with my palm fits really well. I mean, obviously depending on the size of your hands, what works for you might be different. But to me, great shape. There are the weight rings on the outside here. They kind of start from the inside of that cup, and then they come and loop around. YoYoRecreation says this is going to make the yo-yo more durable and able to withstand impacts. I wouldn't know, because I sure as hell don't plan on banging this on anything. I mean, but their logic makes sense. Often when you do bang it against something, the outer edge bears the brunt of the impact. I do like when the weight rings are either on the extreme outside or on the inside. Personal preference, just because, you know, as opposed to the weight rings on the outer edge here, because I think that when, I prefer when the outer surface of the yo-yo is uniform, like a uniform material. I think that feels better, and you can grip it better. You can kind of predict what part's going to hit your finger or your hand or whatever. You can predict how it will behave because it is one uniform material. Next, let's jump into the weight of the yo-yo, which is another reason that I was quick to jump on this, is because this is heavier than your typical high-end bimetal, especially the type that YoYoRecreation makes. It's heavier than the Dropner, and it plays that way for sure. And that's personal preference. I like a little bit of weight on a yo-yo. It's just, I like the solid feel of it, and it makes me play a little bit smoother. And that's just me. And so because of that, it works perfectly. Now, the weight of it does feel kind of pushed out. Not all bimetals are the same in that sense. Sometimes the weight is really centered on those rings, which is like kind of like the way the Anglam. In others, the weight ring really doesn't make a huge difference or carry a big portion of the weight. And that is a little bit more the case with this one. The walls feel kind of thin, and the weight is definitely there on the outer edge, but it just doesn't feel like that's where it's all centered. It's much more spread out and a little bit more of an organic feel. Now that said, it does play lighter than you would think for this shape and this weight. And what I mean is it's definitely a lot heavier than a drop near. It plays a lot slower than that. But compared to a typical yo-yo of this shape and of this weight, it does play faster. I've only had it a week and I'm not like a competition level thrower, so I don't think that my reviews can go any further than that other than the initial impressions of how this looks and feels. But I will try to help you to answer the important question, which is it worth it? Should I buy it? And I think really to get to answer that question is first we kind of have to talk about like the state of the yo-yo market as it is today. The days when a high-end yo-yo recreation throw held a significant performance advantage are gone, okay? Because there are inexpensive bimetals, there are inexpensive yo-yos using high quality grades of aluminum. The best designs have been copied and in some cases improved upon. So when you're spending this much money on a yo-yo, you are not getting a performance advantage. There is no trick that you can do on a $200 yo-yo that you cannot do on a $50 yo-yo anymore. And just because there is no significant performance advantage does not mean that there is no difference, because you pick up this yo-yo, it looks expensive. It looks amazing. When people come to my house and I'm telling them about throwing and stuff and they want to see what a modern yo-yo looks like, this is one of the ones I'm gonna grab. It's incredibly smooth, as you would expect. Some people may think they know what smooth and no vibe means, but let me tell you, there is a different level of this for sure. And this is the smoothest yo-yo I've ever played. It is so smooth that it's beyond the fact that you can barely hear it or the fact that you cannot really visually even perceive that it's moving. It's to the point where I can barely feel the vibration along the string, and that's just incredible. I mean, there's certainly some people that will say, why should I spend $150 on a yo-yo when I can do the same things with a $50 yo-yo? And that's true, but you know, why should you buy a BMW if a really nice Camry costs half the price and can get you to work, you know? And one of the analogies I think is a good one is it's kind of like a luxury watch. If a luxury Swiss watchmaker made a yo-yo, this is what it would look like, right? Now, does a Breitling tell the time better than a nice like $100 Seiko? No, it doesn't. Does it even have complications that can do things that Seikos can't? No, not really. But it looks awesome. It feels awesome. You know personally the amount of engineering and design and precision that's in it, and it feels cool to have something like that. So bottom line, if this is the kind of shape that you enjoy playing with, if you dig yo-yos that are a little bit on the heavy side, if you can afford it and you're looking to treat yourself to like a really nice high-end bimetal, then I really do think this is a good choice. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you guys are interested, I plan on reviewing the Inevitable and the Overdrive dropping here soon, as well as a Tapio Dominator, which I got a hold of. And also I plan next week to start on a small series of reviews of yo-yo equipment, and by that I mean like gloves, cases, things like that.